Good morning and welcome. This is Getting Started with Email Marketing. This is a marketing series that I've put together it's a 4-week program. This one particular is on contacts. So I just want to say welcome and just so thank you for all of you being here today. This is me. My name is Tamara Jaros and I am going to be your presenter and trainer throughout this month and to really help you understand and learn a little bit more about email marketing as well as constant contact and really kind of diving into your account. Some of you already have an account. Some of you, I noticed when you were registering, you don't have an account yet. So you're kind of checking it out to see if maybe this is something for you. So either way, there's going to be information that you can take with you and apply to the email marketing software that you're using. So just want to say thank you again. If you want to reach out to me, here's my contact information. You can definitely connect with me. So as I had shared earlier, this is a 4-week email marketing webinar series. So today we're going to be talking about contacts. Next week, we're going to be talking about campaigns and building them out. And on the 24th, we're going to talk about reports and reporting and really understanding, kind of the numbers that you're getting from those. And then the 31st of the month, we're going to wrap it up and really kind of answer all and any and all questions that you may have, but really talk about some advanced features within Constant Contact. I'll try to give you a little bit as we go, but then we're really going to focus in on kind of like taking your account to the next level. So that's kind of the series, and I hope that you can join me. If you can't join me for all of them and you are registered, you will definitely receive the recording along with the slides. So not to worry if you can't make it to all of them, you'll still get the information. So here's what we're going to talk about today. So first up, obviously, we're going to talk about contacts. We're going to talk about permissions within, adding folks to your list. We're going to talk about importing contact lists. Sometimes people have questions about that. Segmentation. This is going to become very, very important when you're adding in your contacts. You want to make sure that you are segmenting your lists and then making sure that you can really focus in on who you're sending to. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. Tags, list versus tag. Sometimes people have questions about that or want to be able to kind of really help, with sending out those different lists. You can do it that way as well. Let me just see here. And then that way you can be able to incorporate those lists and tags. And then we're going to finish up with list building tools. Sometimes people don't realize that there's some different features within Constant Contact and really to help grow your list. So that's going to be one of those areas that we're going to talk about. So first up, we're going to talk about permissions and understanding, the different types of permissions that you have. So in order to really comply with both the US and Canadian spam laws, any email address that you mail through us, Constant Contact, you need to have permission. So whether you have a web sign-up form, whether you have a confirmed opt-in process, or use paper form, these are expressed permissions in order for you to make sure that the people that are wanting your information truly have expressed that they want to do that. So within Constant Contact, we're going to talk about grow your list and adding the web sign-up form. That's going to be one of those ways that people can go to your website and sign up to receive your communication. You can opt for a confirmed opt-in process with Constant Contact, and I'm going to show you that when we get to the demo portion. And then you can always ask people just to sign up. So it kind of seems crazy, but you can do it that way too. Now there is implied permission, and sometimes people are, kind of get these a little bit confused, but I want to make sure that you understand that with implied, you really want to understand a little bit more about how you can get to where you understand all of what's involved with that. And so with implied permission, it happens when a client or customer, you're building a relationship. So you go to a networking event and you receive someone's business card, you have the opportunity to get their information and reach out to them that way. So that's kind of that implied permission because you're giving them your business card, it has your email, but you haven't really asked or they haven't really expressed it. You may have someone that has a verbal request and so they say, hey, yeah, add me to your contact list. You can do it that way. Or maybe you're hosting a vendor show or trade show and you have a fishbowl where you're collecting business cards, you can do it that way. So if you are, though, doing business with people that are in Canada or emailing folks that are your contacts are in Canada, you really want to make sure that you are getting and being aware of the Canadian anti-spam laws. And so I had sent out the navigation, kind of like navigating your account when you signed up. And so I talked a little bit more specifically about the CAN-SPAM laws for the US and the Canadian CASL laws for the CAN-SPAM for Canada. So if you're confused or have questions, definitely take a look at that video again, and that way you can learn a little bit more about it. But Canada definitely is more stringent on their laws. And so it's very important to make sure that if you're going to, you know, add folks to your list that are implied, that you're going about it and doing it the right way. So one more I kind of want to talk about here as far as permissions is when we think about permissions, who can you not email? And so if you are purchasing or renting lists, please don't use Constant Contact. Select some other type of software because Constant Contact has an integrity for their product, and they want to ensure that those folks that are on those lists are truly folks that want to receive your information. And those folks that you're purchasing or renting, they're not going to want to receive your information anyway. So I would really kind of discourage you from doing that as well. If you're sharing lists without permission, and sometimes that may be where you attend a trade show or you have an affiliate company that you are going to receive a list from, those again are not people that have expressed an interest or you have a relationship with to where they're going to want to receive your email. So you kind of want to think about it that if I were to go to your house and I am a stranger knocking on the door and I say, hey, let me in, would you let me in? And chances are you wouldn't let me in because I am a stranger. And so that is the equivalent of how folks feel when they're receiving email from people that they don't know. So think about that as far as the list. Now, this non-specific or role emails, if you have a list of people that you've gotten their contact information and it seems to be like marketing at, sales at, admin at, those are emails that are probably kind of like those dummy emails. They're not necessarily going to a true person. You really want to remove those from your Constant Contact list. They're not going to be effective. They're going to kind of take away from the metrics that you're measuring as well. So just take those out and really focus in on email addresses that have a true person associated with them. Distribution lists or mailing lists, such as like a voter registration, public directories, the Chamber of Commerce has emails usually listed on their website. These are folks, again, you don't know unless you truly have a relationship. Don't email to them. They're not going to want to receive your information. Surfing or scraping the web, again, just kind of similar to going to the website for the chamber. You don't want to pull those. And anyone that you have on your social media sites, you also want to make sure that you aren't just adding them. You want to give them the opportunity to add themselves to your list instead. So think about as you're building your list and making sure that these are not pieces of that list because it's going to impact you. And I know when people were registering for this particular webinar series, there was a lot of talk about getting people to open the email or open rates. This is going to impact that because if they're not good contacts to begin with, you're not going to have good open rates. So just kind of keep that in mind as you're thinking about those contact lists that you're having. So when you are importing your contact list, there are three main ways to be able to do that. So you can type one contact in at a time. I don't usually recommend it unless you truly only have one contact. You can type in or paste in multiple contacts, which is, again, you're typing in multiple. I do like the paste in feature, so I use that a lot. Or you can upload from a file. Now we're going to go through and do a demo and I'll show you and explain all of those. So a little bit more information on that during the demo. So I want to just share that with you, but that's going to be the process for that. So when we're thinking about segmenting your list, there's a couple different ways that you can do that. When you create your web sign-up form, when people are signing up from your website, you can create what you see here right on the left. You can see that this is a sample that someone created as far as signing up from their website. And so their email lists are right down here where it says, I want to receive all the news and deals, in-store sales and promotions only, new products online and in-store online sales and promotions only. So they've created 4 ways to segment their list when someone is signing up from their website. So if you can do that, apply that same principle when someone is signing up, that's going to help you segment them into the areas that they want to receive information, and it's going to help them be able to receive the communication that they only want to receive. And so here's just a couple of different examples that people may suggest. So if you're, depending on what your products are, your services that you sell, maybe, age or gender might be beneficial to you in reaching out to your audience. Maybe it's the membership type. Maybe it's the organization that they are participating with or the industry. So you really want to think about kind of all of these different features here. So, when you're thinking about sending out email communications, we want to focus truly in on sending emails to people that want to receive our emails. On average, people receive about 88 emails per day. However, we only send about 34 emails per day. So kind of, keep that in mind when we're segmenting that, people are getting a lot of email in, and if you're getting email in that you're really not interested in, it's going to be easy for you just to delete it or unsubscribe. So you want to make sure that you're sending that relevant and targeted emails to those folks that really want to receive emails from you, and be able to segment those lists. So a couple examples that I have here is that if you were a travel agent, you may want to segment your list into customers' destinations or vacation types like a cruise, honeymoon, 55 and older. So kind of those interests that people may have. If you're a real estate agent, you may kind of switch your lists up to maybe the buyer list or seller's list, or folks that are looking for particular properties in a particular city or town. That might be another one of those great ways to kind of segment your list. A restaurant might divide their contact list into kind of what folks prefer as far as the different meat, seafood, or vegetarian dishes. So you can kind of start to think about how segmenting your list and then targeting those particular folks with the information that's going to be more beneficial to you is worthwhile. And so the better opportunity that you can do as far as creating those segments is going to really kind of help you out with that. So here's just kind of a few samples again, kind of think about it. So I want to be able to pull out and explain a little bit more about lists and tags. And I'm gonna be showing this, and I have a couple different samples that you can see. But tags and lists, kind of really work hand in hand with each other. A single contact can be a part of multiple lists and have multiple tags. This list is sometimes the difference between, like lists or tags. And sometimes I have folks will ask me, is it better to use lists or is it better to use tags? And I really want to stress that it's really better for you to use what's going to make most sense when you're going and you're sending out. But I want to share with you as far as tags, just a little bit more to kind of help you understand, again, when you're segmenting, this might help you with sending out the contact information that you have. So for lists, all the lists are public. So when someone wants to, the web sign up form, they'll see the different lists that you check. Whereas tags, those are private, only you see those. So none of your contacts will see any of the tags that you put on for them. So you don't have to worry about that. Lists are for active contacts only, and so any active contacts that you may have. So those folks that have unsubscribed are not necessarily active, so those lists, they wouldn't be a part of that list anymore. And the difference would be is that anyone who was tagged something would always have that as far as a tag. So if you're giving them some kind of like notification as to maybe they're a buyer or seller for real estate, they'll always keep that tag. When you're sending out email, that's going to include anyone in that particular list, versus with tags, you can actually narrow down your tag search and only send to those folks that have that particular tag listed to them. Either ones are unlimited, so you can have as many lists and as tags as you need. But I want to stress to you that you can't create new tags from importing the file. You want to make sure that when you are creating your tags, in order to get your contacts tagged, you need to create the tags in Constant Contact before you import the file, and you want to make sure that it's exact in your Excel file. And I'm going to show this to you in just a moment to kind of help maybe make it a little more sense to you. But we'll talk a little bit about that in just a moment again. So next up we have list growth tools. And so we're going to again be reviewing each of these, but with the web sign up form, if you currently have a website and you don't have a web sign up form, you're missing out on visitors who visit your website and possibly want to receive communications from you in order to be able to stay connected. So you want to make sure that you create that web sign up form. So it allows people to easily sign up, and you have the opportunity to create the information that you want to. Facebook sign up form, if you are on social media and Facebook is one of the tools that you're using, you can again create and add the app to your Facebook page for your business so that when people are visiting your Facebook page, you can capture their information and they can then connect with you not only on social media, but also through the email marketing that you're sending out. And the last one for text to join. So if you are at a large venue, maybe you're having an event, maybe you want to keep like at your register, you can keep kind of like a text to join sign there because you've created the keywords there. You can allow folks to be able to easily subscribe to your list with the text to join feature. So just want to kind of like take a moment here on text to join, is that it's for US subscribers only. So if you are sending to folks that are in Canada, it's not going to apply. So you want to make sure that it's for US subscribers only. Opting in for emails only, not text. So this is just in order for someone, you can send a text message to capture their information in order for them to join your list. It's not to send text messages, though I will have an app for you in order to kind of partner in just a moment. Now I got something for you for that one. But when you're creating your like your keyword for folks to be able to use that keyword in order to sign up, you want to make sure that you think about that keywords, because keywords can only be changed every 60 days. And so you just want to kind of keep that in mind, as you're creating those keywords and making sure that, it's not going to be one of those where, you don't want people to share or thinking about later, or maybe you just want to keep a keyword that you always have, all the time. A few more here is that Constant Contact recently added a WordPress sign-up form, which is for your website. So if you have a WordPress website, you can use the web sign-up form that's specifically designed for WordPress. QR codes, these are kind of getting more outdated, but if you're thinking, gosh, I want to use a QR code, you can most certainly create a QR code within Constant Contact to get people to sign up. And then there is the app marketplace. So this is where third-party developers can promote apps and plugins that integrate with Constant Contact. So you can find other useful signups and integration tools there. And so I have a couple that I'm going to suggest, but just kind of like to give you some ideas as to some of those. So we're going to come back to that in just a moment. So the best way to kind of see some of this is to see it in action. So I'm simply going to escape out of here and then come over here, log into my account, and be able to share with you some of the things that we are talking about. So if you have questions, you can type those into the chat box window, and then from there I can answer the questions, because this is going to be just a little bit more interactive. I do have lots of the questions that were asked when you registered, so I'm going to review some of those as I'm going through, but really want to hone in on keeping it focused to contacts and the things that we've talked about so far. So first up, I want to share with you, when we're thinking about adding contacts into our account, you're going to simply click on the Contacts tab, and then over here in the upper right corner, there is the contacts. And so this is where when I click on it, you can type one contact in at a time, or type in or paste in multiple contacts, or upload from file. So typing in one at a time, here's kind of what you see. Now, I will say that anything in this first name field, if you are someone who likes to or would like to send out an email that has a dear and their person's first name, anything that's listed here in this first name is where that information is pulled from. So it's really important to make sure that you truly have the first name, not necessarily a Mr. or Mrs., and then it kind of gets skipped over here to this area. Or if you have, Dr. Mark or something like that, that's what's going to pull from this first name field here. You'll also notice when we talk about permissions, there's the box here that says I have permission to send. So you want to make sure that you have these boxes checked. Sometimes in your contacts tab, you'll notice here in the left where you have no permission set. So some of them are, checked on there. I just kind of use this as an example since my daughter, but you want to make sure that those permissions are set when you're going through so that you can make sure to send to people and making sure that you're not missing out on anyone who you do have permission to send. You can add in additional contact fields right from here if you wanted to, if that's maybe something specific to your business. So that's one way that you can add in contacts. Another way is to type in or paste in names. And I want to share this one here as far as the paste in names. If you have a list of people that you want to be able to add in, but you may not necessarily need the Excel file for that, or maybe someone, they came to your event or something like that and you just have their files, you can simply just highlight the names. Here I have just a handful of folks. You can do copy and then paste those names right in there, and they will automatically populate into the correct areas as long as there's a space in between. So if there's any errors here, it'll let you know, and you'll be able to click and check those folks out right away. Though the best way is to upload from a contact list. So when you have upload from file, you can then go select the file that you would like to add. So I have selected my file. And then what I can do here is you'll see here it says first name, last name, email address, and tags. This is what Constant Contact recognizes. And so when you're building out your Excel file, these first name, last name, email addresses, and tags right here, this is on the first name area. I got someone here who's not muted. I'm not sure who it is here. There you go. Okay. That might work. And so that way, when you're building out your Excel spreadsheet, you want to make sure that you add these headers in at the top in order so that when you pull this in, it matches up with Constant Contact. So if you need to adjust them, you can simply just click here and then on the drop down, and you'd be able to see which areas that you want to add. This may be a column here where I have tags, and you may say, you know what, that I don't really want to import that information. So you may have an Excel spreadsheet that has a lot more contact information in there. Maybe, within Constant Contact, you only want to use just their first and last name and email address and not of any of their address or company name. You'd simply click on the do not import, and then that way all those columns would not be imported versus having to create a new Excel file. In addition, you can come down here to create new custom field, and then that way you can add in a new custom field that's specific to you. So maybe you want to add in, maybe they attended an event, or maybe you want to just something specific like a member number or a customer number. You can add that information right in here and pull that in here. So I want to go ahead and I'm going to keep these tags here, because I have tags here that I wanted to add and I want to be able to show you. But first up, I want to go to my Excel spreadsheet that I have. Let me just go and do like this right here. What I have here is the tags, and I want to point out to you that I've listed the tags here, and you'll see here that cat owner, fish owner, and weekly specials. These are all lowercase, and so when you're in your Constant Contact account, they need to be lowercase as well. I found out as I was kind of doing the research on this that it can't be a capital letter and then a lowercase letter because the two don't match. So you want to make sure that your tags match identically. So when you click here for next, and I'm going to kind of go back over that, select the list that you want these folks to go into. So I'm monthly newsletter. You may want to add in other contact lists that you want those folks to go into as well. So I have in here fish owner, in-store events, and things like that. You can simply click create new list and create a new list here. So pet store, customers, you can do something like that. And then that way, now you have everyone that's going to that particular list. I'll take them off out of here. And then over here, if you all of your contacts that you have in the list, you want everyone to have that same tag, then you can come over here and you can tag your contacts, but it'll go to everyone. So you really want to focus in on, is everyone needing that tag, or is it that you already have it set up individually? So when you click upload, You then will see that your contacts are being uploaded along with those tags because I had added them individually. So let me go back here to see, you'll see here that we have email lists and we have pet store customers. So here's all of our pet store customers that we just added. You'll see here I have a celebrity list of a celebrity list of folks that were the pet store. And here we have cat owner and weekly specials. So Christina only wants to know about weekly specials, and she's a cat owner. So when I'm having specials or promotions at my pet store, and this is kind of a made up example, but at my pet store, I want to make sure that I am sending out targeted information just to her. And so when I'm having a special for cats, then I want to make sure that I capture her information inside when I'm sending out those campaigns to her. So any questions on that one? Some of you may be familiar with that. I know I have some people on the line that are brand new, just getting started, so everything is new. You can always add in lists as you're building out and bringing in your contacts into your account. Though with tags, they're located down here on the left. You'll need to add those tags in when you're adding them in new. So if I were to put dog owner, because this is capitalized, it would not match up and my tags would not be brought back over into Constant Contact. So you need to make sure that your Excel spreadsheet and your tags match identically, case sensitive. So that's where you can add those in, and you can have as many tags as you need, and you can truly have up to 1,000 email lists if you would like. It's a lot to manage, so I would be aware of all of that. So now when you are adding in your contact lists, if you have a large list and you're kind of, you want to be able to make sure that everyone that you're bringing into your account is going to be all set, they don't need any problems, you can click here on this activities page and you'll see here that there are the reporting for when I'm adding in this list. So here we have 22 contacts imported. If there were any email addresses within that group that were not correct, it would display here. So if there were an email address that, let's say for instance, we can come here and we can type it this way. We can come down here. We're going to put a space here for him, and then we'll just do that. We'll just do that one for right now. So save. We'll go through and we'll do this process again, and then that way you can see that when there are errors, especially if you have a large list, that way you don't have to necessarily go through the list beforehand. You can simply just wait for it to come through with Constant Contact and then go from there. We're going to keep them here at the pet store, upload. And then you can see here that there is a couple that when they have errors, you can catch those simply by clicking on the activities page. So here we have where it shows that Blake Shelton, there was a space in between, so that's not an actual formula for an email address. Adam Levine, he had the dots, the OCOM. So you can simply just come here and update those, and then you will be all set. So save the changes, and then take away that space, save the changes. Now, if you don't do anything with those that have errors, it will simply come off your account within 30 days. So those folks wouldn't be added. So, but that's a nice way, to make sure that you're, want to always check the activity to make sure that those folks that you're importing, all of them are into your account without any issues. If you had anyone on that list who might have unsubscribed prior, then the system would let you know here that you had X number of folks unsubscribe from your list, and you won't have them uploaded back into your account again. So same thing with, you don't have to go back through your Excel spreadsheet to maintain it. The system will already do it right here inside this activity spot. So you can, definitely, check it there and not have to worry about any kind of duplication or adding in someone who's unsubscribed. So when you are thinking about contacts and we're thinking about segmenting, now when we want to, I'm going to go through and kind of show you the process that if you were sending a campaign, how you would go through the process of selecting those folks that are a dog owner or a cat owner. So I'm just quickly grabbing a template. I don't necessarily need to create that now because we're going to talk about creating campaigns next week. But here I have my pet store customers, and I can click on narrow by tag, and maybe this particular newsletter is really only for a cat owner. So I only want to send to those contacts who are also tagged with cat owner. And then that way, I don't have to worry about, sending out to a cat special to a dog owner. I'm simply just going to only send to those folks that have the cat owners on there. So now you have 10 people selected versus the 22. So this is going to help you when you're thinking about your open rates and sending to your contacts. This is really going to help you with making sure that the people that are receiving your information are getting the information that they ask for. If you do this consistently, then folks will then start to know that the material you're sending to them is solid information and information that they truly want to be able to receive. So that is how you can really sort and bring it down a little bit tighter for tags. Another way is that once you send out, whoops, clicked on the wrong one. Once you send out your campaign, you can start to segment when people are clicking. So here we have a campaign here. This is a demo account for me, so there's not a lot of statistics here. But when you are sending out your campaigns and you add clicks for people to click on, if you have an image that you click and you create a clickable link, if you have an call to action that you want someone to take, and so you click and make a link to that button, you can see those click-through rates simply by clicking here. And I can click on this right here, and then you can see the number of people that clicked on the links that you've created. So here we have, there were 2 links in this particular campaign, and you can see who did it, or who clicked, so it was me. And what you can do is segment. So when you're thinking about building your campaigns, if there's different products or services that you're offering to your list, and you want to kind of, again, segment your list a little bit deeper based on interest, you can then pull out and create a new list. So in this particular case, this was a link for, let me go back. Let me clicked on. So this is the link to go back to the website, and this was to go to the Humane Academy. So there were 2 of those links there. So when I click on this one, the website, and let's say this was a product or a service, I can click on this box here and I can manage the list, and I can add to a list, or I can create a new list. And so then it could be the product or service that I was offering at that time, simply by doing that. And now every time that I have a special or promotion on that particular product or service, or that link that someone clicked on, then I can always include them in my campaign when I'm sending out. So that is another great way in order for you to be able to segment your list and truly send information to your list that's truly asked for it. So I want to click here. There's a question that's come in. Just take a moment here. Can contacts have multiple tags, and can have multiple tags be uploaded at one time in a list? So great question. I'll show you here that this is my original list, and you can see here that Adam Levine had 3 tags: cat owner, fish owner, weekly specials. Alicia Keys had dog owner, weekly specials. Amy Adams only had fish owner. And so I had multiple tags that I was importing into the contact list, and some folks had multiple tags that they had listed for them. So great question, but yes, the answer is yes, they can have multiple tags and be uploaded at the same time, as long as they match. So you want to make sure that they match. So great question. Thanks for asking. So as we move on, we're going to talk a little bit more about lists and tags in our contacts. So down here at the bottom, you'll see here that there are the contact lists. Here, if I click on email list, you can see the different lists that you have. You can change out the name, rename it if you need to. You can also delete and get rid of. You have the choice of either deleting the list only or deleting the list in contacts. So make sure that you are clicking the right button. By default, it says list only, so that's always a good way to make sure that you're only selecting the list if it's just the list. So you can do it that way in addition. As far as tags, you can't click on the tags in order to see them this way. You can simply only just scroll through. Whoops. I clicked on one of the tags here, so designer. So you can see here, you can scroll through, and you just want to, be aware of the tags that you have. Whoops, let's see. Okay. Oh, I got a question here. I'll get to the list growth tools in just a moment, so thanks for prompting me. So any more questions on segmenting your contacts or list and tags, go ahead and type into that chat box window. I'm going to actually move over into list growth tools. And then that way you can see that. So constant contact, some of you may be familiar because you're starting to see that your account has been changed. So you'll see here that list growth tools actually got pulled out, so everyone can access those really easily. So the web sign up form, it's already created here for you when you set up your account, but if you wanted to create your own custom one, you could simply click on create sign up form. The form name only you see, so you don't have to worry about, whatever you're naming it doesn't really matter. So maybe you're going to want to put it on a particular landing page. So on my web sign up form, maybe I want to put events. That's going to be, event web page. So something that makes sense to you. The form title, this is what your audience will see when they get to clicking on joining your newsletter and they see this at the top of your form that you've added. The description, this is going to be where you put in the information that lets people know what they're getting, why they're getting it, how often they're going to get it, just so they kind of give them information in order to kind of encourage them to want to sign up. Sometimes people only want to get a coupon at Christmas time, so they only want to sign up at that time. So let them know, hey, you're going to get coupons throughout the year, not just at the holidays, that kind of thing. So that's information for you. Now, if you select only one list, so let's say here, I'm going to put monthly newsletter. If you only select one list, everybody will go to that one list. However, if you give folks the opportunity in order for them to be able to kind of see different options, here I'm going to kind of a handful here. I kind of created a couple different things here as far as for real estate and that kind of thing. So I'm selecting a handful of different options so that people can select and kind of, again, segment when they are going through that process. So here you would see kind of the example that if I wanted to sign up for this real estate agent's newsletter, I type in my email address, my first name, and then I would say I'm a for sale by owner. I want to have some home improvement tips, and I want to know about real estate news. So now anytime that I, as now the sender for Constant Contact and the real estate agent, anytime I'm sending out when I have something that relates to a for sale by owner or home improvement tips, I want to make sure to always include these contact lists. So when people are signing up, this is always a good place for them to be able to segment themselves, and you can easily do that right there. You can take this a little bit further. If you click on the continue button, you can then select what additional fields you want to collect. I usually like to get the first and last name. Maybe you want the company name. Maybe you want to send them a birthday email. You can do something like that. But you want to be cautious as to how much information you're asking for. Because again, if you're kind of meeting me for the first time and I'm like, hey, what's your last name? Hey, what's your birthday? Hey, when's your anniversary? Hey, what company do you work for? What's the address? What's your phone number? It might be just too much information that you're asking. And so therefore, people are going to be a little gun shy of wanting to give you their information. So keep that in mind, that you can always go back and ask for more information once you've established the relationship, but maybe in the beginning you want to ask for a little bit less information. So here you can show what information is required. And then you can click continue, and now you can add in your logo and color of the font as well as background color. So I like to keep it white, so I'll click on finish, and now I can go ahead and take a look at this page here, preview. You can see here that I have my logo, sign up to stay in touch, sign up to get interesting news and updates. So I have this is required, what's the groups that someone wants to be a part of, and then click sign up. So that way I have my form, but now I need to get my form to my website, right? So here we have the embed code area, and you want to just highlight this entire section of HTML code in order to be able to add this to your website. What will happen is that when you do that, it will look like this little button here, join our email list. So you can position this at any place on your website, whether it's on one page, all of your pages. I have it down here in the footer section, so it's kind of up to you, however you want to go about doing that, but that's where you get the code. There's other options here. You can create a form QR code from this spot right here. You can create the sign up button if you want to do it that way too. So that's how you go about creating an additional web sign up form. Over here on the right is the Facebook sign up form. So when you click on it, you want to go through the steps as far as adding the app. So you click on this blue button. You want to make sure that you are logged into that Facebook account that you are either you own, or not really own, but you manage because it's yours. So this is mine here, or that you are the admin on. So if you are doing this for your supervisor or for someone else in the organization, but you're not part of that, it's not going to let you do that. So you want to make sure that you are logged in so that it adds it. And when you go through the steps of adding that in, it's going to ask you which Facebook page do you want to link to. So I already have it on my Facebook page, so I can show you the results of that. Let me click here to get to that page. And you can see here, promote. Again, got to get that page there. Right here, over here where it says apps, you can see on exclusive here, you can then have someone sign up. It's thinking. So become our fan. Once they sign up here for the from the Facebook page, then they would be then added to my constant contact list. WordPress sign up form. Again, this is a plugin. So if you have a WordPress site, this is going to be the one that you want to use. You can simply just add the plugin to your WordPress site. Text to sign up. I know we had a question on that one, so I want to make sure that we get to this one. So when you are creating your text to join feature, here's where you would select your keyword. So last year I used email 2016. Maybe now this year I want to change it. So this change can't be undone. Just want to let you know you can only have it for 60 days. So you still want to change my keyword. Maybe now I want to put email 2017. If someone else is already using this, you need to make sure it won't let you do that. It won't let you use someone else's because everyone's kind of sharing the same number. So it says, hey, email 2017 is available, so I can change my keyword. And now anytime someone texts email 2017 to 22828, then that way, now I'm not sure why I didn't switch on that, but that way it will automatically update that. Let's see if it's switched it now. So now it says email 2017. And so again, anyone that does that, so if you want to try it, you can. So what will happen is that when they do it, they'll receive this text message that says, hello, please reply with your email address in order to join our mailing list. You can customize this message. The email address is the only information that you're going to collect. So even if you ask for the first and last name, email address is the only information that would be collected. You'd want to select which list that this particular contact would go into. You need to set this up prior to creating your text to join option. So if it's not here, you would simply just X out of here, go back to contacts, create the contact list, and then come back in. So here, maybe I want to put this into my monthly newsletter, kind of a generic one. And then once they send in their email, then they're going to receive another text message that says, thanks, you're now subscribed to our mailing list. Please watch your email for our newsletter. Again, this information can be customized as well. So this is just to capture the emails. It's not for any additional information to capture. It's not for the ability to be able to text. So it's just in order to be able to, again, list growth tools and growing your list. Click save, and now you can save. That's all saved. You can create this little sign here. This is truly what it looks like. I don't really like it. So if you want to change that and kind of create your own, you can most certainly do that. But I have been to businesses where I've seen this, and so you can use it if you'd like, but you can, again, change out the title, change out the subtitle as well. So that's the text to join option that you have. So let me go back here. Also, I want to point out, because I'm going to share some apps with you, that there's this app marketplace. If you click on it, you'll see here that there are a handful of different apps that integrate with Constant Contact. These, again, are third party created. Some of them are created for Constant Contact or by Constant Contact. But you can come in here and you can kind of take a look and see, kind of what would, might be something that you might be interested in. And that is the app marketplace. So any questions on those items there? Go ahead and just type into that chat box window. So those are the different ways to grow your list, really enhance that experience, kind of from that way. Let me come back here, and then we've seen it in action. Oops, I want to share with you that if you are thinking about using Constant Contact, there is a promotion for 30% off for 3 months. I will send that in the follow-up information, so you'll be able to get that information for if you want to sign up and use Constant Contact for your email marketing. So here I had shared with you that there are a couple different apps that I've kind of captured. I want to announce and share with you right off the bat, I have not necessarily added these to my account and I'm not actively working with them, but these are some that might be of interest to you and might be worth checking out. So iCapture uses an iPad to capture names, emails, and even preferences from the customers, and it adds it right into your Constant Contact account. There is a free option with this, but it's a little limited, and it only is linked up to one iPad. So you can't set it up to multiple iPads, like if you're at a trade show or something like that, or a vendor show, you'd only have one iPad that you'd be able to use it on. So iCapture does not require an internet connection, so it's kind of nice if you are at a vendor show. You just need to refresh when you get back to have internet connection. So this easy texting is something that's relatively new in linking. So this is truly easy texting SMS marketing platform. Definitely you can add in the opportunity to do email or text messages using this easy texting link. This is going to be something that you create an account for in order to be able to access and connect to. There is a pay-as-you-go for as little as $5 per purchase. So that might be one of those where you can send out text promotions, your business, and kind of like get some information back. People like and use texting, so it may be one of those you want to consider. Privy is another one. It uses a free website pop-up and landing page tool to grow your list. So if you've gone to someone's website and they have a pop-up, hey, get this free ebook, or hey, get this free checklist, and it pops up to get their email. That's an actual kind of like a pop-up. So you can use this, and that might be a great tool in order to be able to use this. It works. This feature is compatible with Shopify, Wix, Squarespace, Weebly, WordPress, so you can sync it with Constant Contact. It might be a nice tool. QuickBooks Online, so if you are utilizing QuickBooks Online and you want to be able to integrate those two so that your information is the same in Constant Contact, you can utilize this as one of the apps. GenBook I thought was kind of cool for enabling online appointment scheduling, promoting your reputation, and managing your business, staff, and customers online. So it's an affordable software, so there is some costs to it, but you can, if you're wanting to, again, have people come to your website in order to be able to schedule appointments, you can utilize this, and it links with Constant Contact. And then Zapier is a connector that lets you get SMS, text, email, and chat alerts for new subscribers. So Zapier is kind of one of those popular ones that I keep hearing about. So I just thought I wanted to be able to share a couple different apps that might be of interest to you. Before we wrap up, there's a couple more questions. I want to remind you that our next webinar is on January 17th. So again, join me next week. We're going to be talking all about creating mobile responsive templates, customizing your templates with your brand and colors, adding in elements, buttons, links, adding in images and videos, and adding in your social media. So thank you. I'm going to go ahead and answer a few more questions. So if you're still on the line with me, I'm so glad that you are still here. So here's a question. Is part of your business one-to-one available to help get lists made, imported, and or some of these other text to join things done. So my business, so I do have a business. It's Spark Your Leads, and I work independently from Constant Contact. I am an authorized local expert, so I am like an independent contractor with them. But my business truly is to help and support with training and education and consulting. Because I love the training side of things, this what's made it a good partnership for me to work with Constant Contact. But I can most certainly, I do email marketing for clients that they know that they need and want it, but they just can't get to it themselves. So yes, that is part of what my business is, and building out the contact lists too. So thank you for asking. I don't do necessarily the best job of promoting myself when I'm doing this because I'm focused on, sharing the knowledge about Constant Contact. But yes, I can most certainly do that. So any other questions that you may have, go ahead and again, type those into that chat box window. I'm going to kind of review some of the questions that I got as far as when I was asking for people when they were signing up. So how to better utilize the contacts feature as far as sorting groups, being able to identify how past contacts were deleted, unsubscribed, and managing duplicates. So I'm going to talk more about unsubscribed contacts when we get to the reporting section. As far as duplicate contacts aren't going to be able to be duplicated unless they give you a work email and then also a personal email. That's when a contact could be duplicated, and so therefore you'd have two email addresses for that particular person. But if you bring someone in using their work email address and the first time you import them and you want to import them a second time, they won't be listed in your account twice. So you don't have to worry about duplicating those. Getting people to subscribe and getting people to open. That was one of the biggest comments that I got when it's come to struggle and questions that you have. So again, really think about utilizing the list growth tools, adding that to your website, your social media, making sure that any and everywhere that you possibly can share that you have a business online, getting people to know about your business, whether it's in your signature line, whether you put it on your business cards, if you're hosting any kind of an event, really let people know that, hey, you've got something of value to share, and then honing in on the information that they want to receive by segmenting their list. There were some other questions about meaningful timelines, sending emails. We're going to talk about that, about more as far as creating campaigns next week. Incorporating email into the overall strategy. One of the things that I want to point out is that with email marketing, you own the list versus with social media or like local search directories and things like that. Those are managed by someone else. And so those are kind of what we say a rented list. So it's important to kind of pair email marketing with social media, but you want to really hone in on this list of people that you have in order to be able to connect with. That is what's going to be really most important. So as far as incorporating into your overall strategy, what it's going to come down to is kind of putting together a plan and a calendar, which that's going to be part of the resources that I send to you after, is making sure that you're incorporating kind of like that calendar as to when you want to send and what do you want to send, and kind of like the focus. And so if you can think about within your business, kind of like there may be main points when you are like going to have a promotion or a sale, and kind of back out how you want to be able to promote that sale. So let's say, at the end of each quarter, kind of using that as the example, you have a big sale or promotion in order kind of to end the quarter really strong. So you want to kind of start to think about how you can continue to build up to that particular time in the calendar. And so you may have some different messages that you're sending in your email campaigns. You might also be pairing that with social media and putting out social media posts. So again, it's all about thinking about how you can incorporate it to really kind of focus on why you're in business. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that as far as campaigns, sending, social media next week when we talk about campaigns. So any other questions, go ahead and type into that chat box window. I truly thank you for your time. Again, you're going to be receiving this webinar recording and slides within 24 hours. So thank you, and look forward to seeing you and having you on the call next week. Have a great day.